Welcome back, boys and girls, and today we're going to talk about what is a deer's most powerful weapon against hunters. First is a smelling sense. You could see that long nostril right here. They have very powerful olfactory system, and they could even smell better than hunting dogs. So when you're sitting on the tree stand, and if you see deer walking toward your direction, especially during the archery season, and they stop, and they have their nose go up and try to smell you, 9 out of 10, they will stop and turn around and go back where they came from. That means you got busted. Now, especially when you have the wind that's kind of swirling around, that's when you really have to be careful. And for me, there's 3 different ways. First, make sure you take a shower before the hunt and use a scent-free shampoo and the soap. Number 2, use a scent killer, and we talked about this on the last video on how to apply it. And number 3 is use a tree stand. If you open the tree stand pretty high, it's very unlikely they're gonna smell you. But again, you have to do all 3 right. Second is their vision. Now, honestly, their vision is not much greater than humans, but their eyes are set on the side and it's bulged out. So they have much wider view. In fact, it's 280 degrees. Now, a lot of people think deer are colorblind, but actually they are not. But they do have a hard time distinguish between red, orange, and green. But what they're really sensitive to is seeing a solid color in the woods, because it's very unlikely to see a solid color in the woods, and especially if it's moving. So they're sensitive to solid color and movement. And also, a lot of people think deers don't look up. In fact, they do, especially if they see any movement. But for sure, you do not want to be at the eye level. Now, some people ask me, how high do I climb with a self-climbing tree stand? That really depends on where I'm sitting. If I'm sitting where I'm the highest, then I could go maybe 20 to 30 feet high. But if I'm sitting where there's a hill across from me, and there's a good chance that deer's going to come from that side, and at some point, if I'm at his eye level, there could be a big problem. In that case, I would actually climb higher to avoid his eye level. So when you see a deer or when you're looking for a deer, you don't want to make a fast movement, but make a slow movement and move your eye as much as possible. And the third is their hearing. Their hearing is not really much better than humans, but they have an ear that could turn to different directions. So if they hear something, they stop and they listen. And just like a radar, their ears will turn and they're gonna locate you really fast. So one of the benefits of using a muzzle brake is that, as I've told you before, when I shoot a deer with a muzzle brake, I see them running toward me and crash. And that's because the sound doesn't come from one direction, but it disperses. Because they depend on their hearing. In most cases, if they hear anything, they will stop and they try to distinguish the direction of the sound and then run. So this is where you have a golden chance to pull the trigger before it runs. But you have to be ready, because at best, they might give you a few seconds. Again, this was for the very beginners. And next, we're going to talk about how to spot a deer in the woods and find it with your scope. See ya.